Let's run this again so you can see it. This player, as this player goes to hit this shot, right? It's a baseline shot and they're trying to hit their ball deep. You can see that their leg, the leg comes up. Okay. When the leg comes up off of the court, that breaks the connection between the player, their paddle, and the court. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tony Roy. In addition to being the host for this pickleball video, I'm a full-time pickleball professional. In this video, we are restarting Project 4.0, and we're going to be very specific in this video. We're going to give you a tip that's going to help you with your shot depth, as well as the power in your shots. So if you're lacking either depth in the shots, that you want to hit them deeper and they're landing short, or you're lacking power in your drives or in your volleys, in this video, we're going to address the root cause of those problems. As I mentioned, this is Project 4.0 video. Project 4.0 is a project that we started several years ago on this channel. We're restarting it again because of demand. You guys are asking for it. We want to meet you where you're at and get you information that will help you. The tips you're going to be seeing in this series of videos are tips that are not commonly seen in YouTube videos because they're the type of thing that just the algorithm doesn't recognize. So if you like this kind of content, if you're in fact on a journey to 4.0, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button. That's the only way to make sure that you get notified of videos just like this when they come out. If you're a system member, I'll tell you where inside your course these materials are in general. I'll give you the general areas to look for so you can work on these parts of your game. What we're going to be focused on today is the mechanical pillar. The mechanical pillar is the how-to, right? So if you want to be a really good 4.0 player, a benchmark 4.0 player, which I'll explain a little more in a second, if you want to be a benchmark 4.0 player, your mechanics have to be spick and span, right? You have to have repeatable, consistent mechanics that don't fail you too often and that you know you can count on, right? That the balls will go where you want them to go with reasonable regularity if you want to achieve that benchmark 4.0 level of play. And that's what we're going to address in this video with particular focus on that shot depth, that shot power that I talked about a second ago. If you want to learn more about Project 4.0, and if you want to know what a benchmark 4.0 player is, how we define that, I'll put a link up here. It'll take you to a blog post that we wrote that defines the project, defines a benchmark player, and also gives you some tips on what you can do to progress along your game towards that 4.0 level play. And not just any 4.0, benchmark 4.0, which is a whole different ball game. All right, let's talk about this shot and depth issue that players seem to have happen. What happens is players are losing the connection with the court. I'm gonna put let's run this video up here. I'm gonna walk you through it. What you can see here is it's a male pickleball player, a larger player, right? But physically large human being hitting a ball, and yet the ball doesn't travel that far, right? And as we go through this, I want to be clear, no criticism of any of these players as we walk through these different shots. Appreciate them putting their material online so that we can all watch it and learn from it, and hopefully it'll help them as well as they progress. So again, let's run this again so you can see it. This player, as this player goes to hit this shot, right? It's a baseline shot and they're trying to hit their ball deep. You can see that their leg, the leg comes up. Okay. When the leg comes up off of the court, that breaks the connection between the player, their paddle, and the court. When you break that connection, you lose the ability to transfer energy into the shot. Let me show you a different player here. Again, another larger player, right? Again, big person, right? Trying to hit these balls. The balls can't go deep, not because this player is not a strong player, right? This player is visually a very strong player. It looks to be a very strong player. The reason this player's shots can't go deep is because you can see that he's losing the connection between his body and the court. It wouldn't be one of our videos if we didn't pause here for a second to hear from you. If you're on a journey to 4.0, let us know in the comments below and let us know what specifically you're working on. Is there something that you're focusing on to get you there? And if you're already a really good 4.0 player, put in the comments below something that you did, something that really opened up your eyes to becoming the 4.0 player that you are today. Between his body and the court. And if you want to think about it, like philosophically, whenever you hit a pickleball, what you are doing is you are transferring the energy from the earth through your body, right? From your feet, right? Feet through your body, through your shoulder, arm, into paddle, into the ball. So literally, you're taking the earth and transmitting it into a ball and then sending that ball on its way, as you can see in this shot here. You'll notice in this shot, and this is me hitting drives. I came from a tennis background, so I have a good background in this type of shot. I keep my feet on the ground as I'm hitting through the ball, allowing me to take the energy from the earth and drive it into that ball, hitting that shot. When we compare my shot to the shot of these other players, what you'll notice the main difference isn't our size, isn't anything else. It's in our connection to the earth. This is what we generally refer to as foundation. Not generally, this is what we refer to as foundation. And it's critical to your shots to have a solid foundation between your foot and your shoulder as you transmit the energy into the ball. If you're a system member, as I promised you already, what you're gonna do is check your foundation videos and also look at the energy and trajectory videos inside your course. Those two pieces will help you better understand how this type of error can happen, or this type of lack of energy can happen. And what happens is when you break the connection, what happens is you don't get the depth in the shots that you want. You also don't get the power in the shots that you want because you're breaking that link, that critical link to the earth, between the earth and the ball, because you're lifting your legs. This is very similar to something that Eddie Atkins, our good friend, was doing, the host of the Eddie and Webby podcast, Pickleball podcast, was doing several years ago. I'll show it to you here. You can see how he's lifting his leg. And that was part of Project 4.0 back in the day, and it's part of the reason why we're bringing Project 4.0 back today. If you want to improve this part of your game, you need to focus on this foundation. You need to focus on your foot to court connection and then your foot to shoulder connection. Make sure everything's in good order. As you transmit that energy into your shots, you'll increase the depth of your shots as well as the power that you're generating in each shot that you play. If you're genuine on your Project 4.0 desires, highly recommend that you start with the Respect DX strategy if you're not already familiar with it. I'll put a link up here, somewhere up here, to a guide that we have. You go in there, it's a free download. You just give us an email so we can send it to you, and then we'll send you the download. You'll also be on our email list, so you'll be notified of future content that we produce just like this. I'll also put a video over here that'll help you continue along your journey. I'm happy to be with you as part of your Project 4.0 path, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.